In my bowl here, I've got 1 brick of cream cheese, softened. If you're making this in a rush, what you can do is pull it out, grab all of your other ingredients, pop it in your bowl that's microwave safe, and just do intervals of 10 to 15 seconds because you don't want it to be melted, you just want it to be softened so that we can whip it up. That was completely, I gotta do the crust. Well, we're gonna set this aside and we gotta do the crust. What am I thinking? I'm jumping ahead, I'm excited about the filling. In my bowl here, I just got 1 cup of graham cracker crumbs, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and some melted butter. So I usually start with a little bit less than what I think I need. So genuinely, it's about 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of melted butter for this amount. So when you're doing it, I always mix a little bit less because then you're constantly battling. If you have to add more graham cracker crumbs, then you have to add more butter. So go slow and just mix until you get like a wet sand consistency. You don't want it to be too wet, and you don't want to look like it's glistening because then you're gonna get a harder crust because there's too much butter. But once the butter chills, that's what's gonna set it because the butter will solidify and it'll help hold our crust together. So I'm just gonna do a little scoop in each cavity and just enough to fill the bottom. There might be a little bit left over, but I wanted to give you a recipe that was very versatile, right? So you can just do 1 cheesecake or you can do these mini ones. And I'm just gonna use the 1 mold today, but I might have enough here to do 6 to 8 cheesecakes with the amount of crust. So you can always, if you only have 1, freeze them, take them out, that whole thing. So just enough to, because we want a good ratio of crust to filling. So just enough to cover the bottom. And then we're gonna gently press it with our fingers. Again, not too compact. I personally like the crust actually just as much as the filling. So I don't want equal amounts, but I want a good amount, and this will also give us a really good base. So gently press, because the freezer is gonna kind of basically do all of our work for us. We don't have to bake this. When the butter chills, it will solidify, and that's what will hold your crust. All right, so I've got just a little bit of crust left over, so I'm just gonna put that aside in a little Tupperware. You can, like I said, do more, or if you're doing 1, it will do the whole crust. So I'm gonna set these aside and we're gonna work on the filling. All right, so to start our filling, I've got softened cream cheese, 1 brick, and I'm just gonna do this by hand today. I try and keep things as simple as possible when it comes to presenting recipes because there is ways that I can do it that are very efficient in the tools that I have, but I also wanna keep things super simple for you at home if you don't have all of the gadgets, just like this. If you don't wanna go ahead and get a mold, you can just use a pie tin. Your guests are still gonna enjoy it, and so will you. So with my beater on high, I'm just gonna get this going and mix it till it's really, really smooth. All right, so to our cream cheese, we are gonna add 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. Literally the best thing on planet Earth, I think. It is so good and so good for so many different recipes. So that going all in at once. Get it all out of there. Then we're gonna do about a tablespoon of vanilla bean paste. You can also use vanilla extract. This recipe is very versatile depending on the flavor you want to do. Today I want to do a little bit of a raspberry swirl. The color is perfect for Valentine's Day, and I really, really love fruit and citrus in dessert, so that's a no-brainer for me. So zip this all up till it's nice and smooth. All right, now because it's fresh lemon juice, I like to just strain it just so that it removes any pulp or if there was any seeds that did happen to fall in. So we've got the 1/4 cup there, and at this point we're gonna work a little bit quickly, mainly because it's gonna start to set and we want to make sure we can swirl in our raspberry sauce and get it into the molds. So zip this up until it's all incorporated. All right. Just a couple turns with your spatula. I've got this beautiful raspberry sauce. It's called raspberry coulis, but essentially it's just a thick raspberry sauce. You can always use raspberry jam or some frozen raspberries cooked down and then strained so that there's no seeds. So I'm just gonna add a couple tablespoons of this and swirl it in by hand because I want it to still be all that streaking when we put it into our molds. You don't want to play with it too much, and then just easy with a spoon, easy with a spoon, you can just fill up your molds. You can do this with a piping bag too, but I always want to keep things super easy and simple. So just go easy with it, and a spoonful in each to the top of the cavity. And then we are gonna set these in the freezer so they are gonna firm up nice because we want them to be super solid so that they'll come out really easily. All right. So in the molds, I'm just gonna give them a little jiggle and a little tap just so that everything is full. And then we're gonna pop it into the freezer. All right, so my cheesecakes were in the freezer for just a couple of hours. Ideally, you wanna let them set for a little bit longer. So this recipe also is going to set, but it will be a little less solid than a baked one. But I mean, come on, there's nothing wrong with that. She is beautiful. And then when you go to serve, what you can do is pop these all out, pop them onto just this little baking tray, and then you can put them back in the fridge because obviously you want to serve cheesecake nice and cold. So as always, we must taste, and this one just looks so pretty, so we're just gonna go over here and taste one of these guys. Oh my goodness. It's so silky and smooth, and that fruit really complements and helps balance the sweetness. I think it will be perfect to end your meal on Valentine's Day this year. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, and be sure to follow me over on Instagram as well. I'm always posting over there the new fun creations I'm baking up in the kitchen. And I hope you guys make it this weekend and have a great day. Bye. That was good, that was good, that was good. Yeah. So is this. You gotta get it on this.